Hey, Bridgette. Thank you so much for doing this interview with us. I just want to say I know how busy you are, being a SAICI member, and especially being one that sits on the executive board and is a member of council, and on top of all that is the chair of the membership committee. Wow, an amazing CV for someone who's only 31 years old. I'm so super proud of you, and I'm very honored to have you talk to our guests to explain just what it takes to be successful. And we even haven't started talking about your job title. So do you mind telling us a little bit more about yourself?
Hey, I'm currently the senior civil and structural engineer at a multinational, multidisciplinary company with offices. Our head office is in Pasadena, California. We have an office in Mumbai, India, and Barcelona in Greece. I work in the Johannesburg office for Jacobs Matesis.
So, having worked with such a wide spectrum of people all over the world, how did you get here from Secunda to world stage? Tell us more.
Well, I went to a government high school in Secunda, got B's and C's sort of averages for most things, and decided to go to Wits when it came time to choose a university. I've always wanted to be an engineer. Buildings, roads, bridges, infrastructure have always fascinated me. My dad is an engineer, so I've always been exposed to these things. And Wits was just the best choice for me as a person. I did a BSc in civil engineering. I graduated in 2004. Then was very fortunate to have had a bursary with Rand Water and worked at Rand Water for 2 years, where because I was prepared to work hard, because I was prepared to put in the hours and ask questions and figure things out myself, I had the most amazing mentor. I didn't necessarily follow X's road to registration program, but because I wanted to learn, because I wanted to know things, because I was prepared to get it wrong, my boss at that stage took me under his wing and let me get things wrong on paper and pointed me in the right direction. He was the person who advised me to change companies after 2 years because I wasn't suited to work in a parastatal. I then ended up doing commercial structures. So for those of you that know Greenstone and Clearwater Mall, I've worked on those. I was part of the design teams on those. Engineering's not a one-man game. It takes everyone on the team to make that building stand, to finish a project, whether it be a road or a structure or even a waterworks or a pipeline. You have everyone on the team and everyone has a part to play. I've learned from all of them. I've learned to draft. I learned to detail from the rebar detailer. I've been on site. I've learned from the lowest worker how to fix rebar. Those guys work incredibly hard to feed their families, and I have the utmost respect for them. Never underestimate who can teach you something new.
That's wonderful, and I love that message because it's often so overemphasized that those above you know better than you, but we often can learn from everyone around us, not just those above us. But you touched on something quite interesting. I know a little secret, and I think I should share it. Bridgette Kerst was Young Engineer of the Year 2012, which is not an easy thing to be. So Bridgette, without letting the cat all out of the bag, tell us, how did you become that Young Engineer of the Year?
I decided that I wanted to be more involved in SAICI's activities a few years ago, and I joined the Joburg branch. And it's a fantastic opportunity to meet engineers around you, to network, to get new opinions. As I said before, we don't work in isolation. Someone else's opinion is always great, and I got involved at branch level and started helping plan activities, organizing things like the bridge building and the water competition, talking to students. And from there I ended up getting involved in more of the national level things that SAICI does to promote civil engineering, especially the technical things, because that's where my passion is. And I then got elected onto council through my involvement with the branch, and started working towards strategy for the South African Institute of Civil Engineering's goals for the future. And from there, got involved in the executive board, which runs day-to-day things for SAICI. And I decided then that for me, I would like to be more involved in strategy. And from there, I got involved in the membership committee to drive where SAICI is going, to drive where engineering in this country is going for the future.
So what is the value of the PR tech or the PR eng or the professional registration anything? Because honestly, I see this vision, but I also know that there's a lot of emphasis on us understanding our responsibilities as engineers. So can you give us more of a way forward that how you presented or how you got into your PR eng?
Well, I only submitted my PR eng application after 6 years of experience. But that was purely because I understood and I'd had it explained to me that when I sign off a design, when I sign off a drawing, when I sign off a building, I become responsible for the lives of every person who will ever use it. Whether it's the contractor building it, whether it's a shopper in a shopping centre just walking around wasting a Saturday afternoon, or whether it's someone working in a production factory all day, I am responsible for their safety. And that carries with it tremendous obligations. So for me, I took the time to do my PR eng. I put it in when I was prepared to take that responsibility. And it's a massive acknowledgement of your competence as a person, of how the people around you, the engineers above you view you. It's about proving not only to yourself, but to the people you're going to work with that you can do your job. Even though it doesn't always mean that you have all the answers. You don't. But it means that you know when to ask questions and you know when to ask for help.
That's wonderful. And it doesn't hurt that it does help you in the financial department, does it?
No, it doesn't. You do get better paid once you have your professional registration.
Yeah. Although
companies acknowledge that you have put in the work to get there, to be recognized by your peers.
So tell us in a brief Bridgette Phantasm manner, what would you want us to know about being a success?
It takes hard work. You have to be able to put in the hours. But balance is also incredibly important. You need to learn that you're going to have to work hard, but you can't forget to play hard too. Play is important. It lets you switch off and relax and go back to the job on a Monday morning focused.
So, talking about being focused, I did hear from a little birdie, again, that you've just completed the Inca Trail in Peru. Talk about play hard. Wasn't that work hard?
No, that was an amazing experience. It was definitely play. Although, as an engineer, you walk around and you see ruins and you go, ooh, how did they build that? The wall is very interesting, or the sand is very interesting, in my case. It's an amazingly beautiful part of the world. And by going there, I literally climbed off the grid. I didn't have a cell phone, I didn't have Wi-Fi, I didn't have internet access. It really just lets you switch off and appreciate the beauty of the world we live in.
But doesn't it also help you understand the importance of who you are now? Because those people did it back then with less than what we have now. I mean, those are our forefathers.
We do need to understand that they took about 200 years to build anything, but yes, it is amazing. It makes you understand how easy we have it now with all the technology, but also that greatness takes time. Sometimes it's worth taking the time to do something properly and right.
Bridgette, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. I just want to emphasize that I really honestly think that you're one of the better examples of how to get things right. And I know you say that it's about doing things properly and having the guidance, but I also feel like I need to mention it's also about having the courage, and you've really showed immense courage to take on the most amazing types of challenges, and to you we salute and thank you for being our successful story for 2013.
Thank you, Mac.
Bye.